Welcome to a special episode of the Archetypal Mosaic. This is Mikhail Tank. Today's show is going to be about the beautiful Tibetan Dzi beads. Our guest is Lhawang Dhondup of the beautiful store in Berkeley called Fine Tibetan Arts. You're welcome to come here during opening hours and check it out. The beauty is mesmerizing. Lhawang, welcome to the Archetypal Mosaic.
Thank you, Mosaic.
Now tell us, what inspired you, what interested you in these beautiful artifacts of your homeland?
Oh, it's I think it's beautiful. That's why I am inspired.
You opened your store how long ago?
About 2007. I opened this store since 2007.
So welcome, happy 10th anniversary.
Yeah, thank you very much.
The store really stands out. It's very elegant.
Yeah, I'm trying to put like something a little bit different from the other Himalayan or Tibetan store, so I don't have to compete. I don't like to compete.
I don't like to compete either.
Yes.
We should always just be our own
Absolutely.
entity. Now tell me, you travel a lot.
I do.
Do you travel to find artifacts?
That's where I am actually. Like I have to kind of find each and everything is like has a story. Mm-hmm. And then also I have to go to my own places like Nepal, Tibet, a little bit difficult, India, where the Tibetans are. So most of the stuff here in the store are handpicked by me or my wife.
And tell me, which part of Tibet are you from?
I was born in kind of like northern India and Nepal part of the world. My parents are originally from Tibet. So.
Now tell me, is it true that in Tibetan culture the Dzi bead is the most prized possession?
Yes, because it's kind of like a Dzi bead is considered to be the heirlooms. So when the family, let's say, if my parent has a Dzi bead inherited, most of the time it's supposed to be inherited to a female, except the sudden Dzi bead supposed to be also worn by the man.
Which kind are supposed to be worn by the men?
I think most likely 3 eyes, sky art door, and then also 9 eyes. But then the other Dzi beads are go as a necklace, part of the what we call the ornament for the ladies.
Now let's talk a little about, for those people who may not be familiar with Dzi beads, they're sometimes spelled DZI, sometimes they're spelled GZI. How do you pronounce them properly?
I think it depends how you wanna. It's called the Z, which is in Tibetan, and then some people, I think DZI seems to be a little more kind of closer to in terms of the pronunciation in Tibetan.
Now we have most Dzi beads are made or have been created either naturally or with man-made help via the stone agate, which is a chalcedony, correct?
That's correct.
So let's say we have right in front of us a variety of Dzi to look at. Most of them are agate, some of them are carnelian, which is also a type of agate on chalcedony, and some of them are made from ceramic and petrified wood.
That's correct.
So the carnelian ones are called chung beads, right? Mm-hmm. What separates a chung bead from a Dzi bead?
It's kind of like a Tibetan belief that Dzi is not just as a part of ornament. It's kind of like a what we call this protector or the talisman. And there are different versions of origination of the Dzi beads, and some are believed to be coming from the sky. Some are believed to be it is part of the. It is kind of like an ornament for of the gods and divas and demigods and things like that. And then, in my opinion, my own opinion, I think Dzi bead could be man-made. Maybe Some are, but some are could be like a. It has been consecrated or blessed by the high lamas, so that's why it could use as a protector.
Now, if we were to look at the different materials once again, we have agate, carnelian, any kind of ceramics, and we have petrified wood. What's the petrified wood called?
They call it pumtang. Pumtang is like a. Mostly you will find in Burma or Nagaland, that part of the world, and then even like when we talking about Z bits, there are many reproduction these days, which is made up from agates, or could be ceramic, or could be like glass. But even if it's an ancient Z bits, there are like 3 different types of like quality could be. And then
describe those types.
When we're talking about Chungzi, which you were asking about, Chung means like the lesser or the smaller. Lesser Z means the name of the stone. So the lesser Z, which is like in value wise, it's a little bit less expensive than the real Z. So, and then the reason why I'm saying it's could be man-made, because like when you look at it, when you look at even it's like, let's say if it's an authentic real Z-bait, you want to look at the color, size, pattern. Those are the very important. So the value wise according to those 3 things. And so that's why like I think it may be man-made, maybe from the, but anyhow, it's like for Tibetan Z-bits, it's a big deal.
Now tell me, aside from those things that we talked about, the original ones are made from agate.
That's correct.
So
most of the Z's
are agate.
Agate.
Now tell me, it's interestingly enough, there's many banded agates which have natural eyes. They come in different forms of stone. They can be slabs. They can be different cuts. But there's naturally occurring eyes within agates. So my question is, do you think that a long time ago, since agates still have natural formed eyes, do you think that some people found such agates, which are still available from the earth, which are hundreds of thousands of years old, perhaps millions, some of them, and decided these are the protector, the eye to protect against evil. Kind of like the way the Hamsa is in Middle Eastern culture and Jewish culture and Turkish culture. But the Hamsa is kind of created, whereas the agate eye is a natural occurrence. And then once they saw that, they decided, why not kind of clarify it more with a little bit of a drawing on top of the eye that's already there. Is it something like that? Or are they 2 different things?
That could be possible. Some are like that, but most it seems to be, because even some of the ancient Z comes with like a letter Om, and then also there's a like a form of like lotus, and then also a form of what we call like vase, and then the form of like different types of eyes, like the long eyes, like we call it like Buddha eyes, and which is kind of like derived in the later part of the period. But there are many different types of like patterns of the Z.
Now, so for example, there's Buddha eyes, there's tiger teeth. What do those things specifically represent?
Those are like mostly represent for protector. Like if you worn one of those Z, you're supposed to be protected from the evil thing, like evil spirit or evil thing, anything.
So Buddha eyes specifically, what do they represent?
The Buddha eye, I believe it represents like clarity and wisdom, which you could see the things in like what we call perspective and a clear mind instead of a
clouded mind.
Yeah.
Right? Now tell me about this. Z beads used to be a long time ago. They had the value of bank accounts. People could buy a house with them. It could be dowry for a wedding. It could be a lot of different things. It had tremendous monetary value, right?
That's correct.
You could actually take it off and buy a house.
Oh, totally. A lot of people, like even in the present, some people they have. If you have a 9i Zs, if it's a real ancient one, which is very rare, you could buy. I think it's worth over $1 million
Currently,
right. And like 3 or 4 years ago, the Z prices of the Z is like skyrocketed. So if you have any ancient Z, its value is it's like you cannot like a value of it. So you could buy you could sell it for $1 million. You could buy $1 million house.
But for example, the reproduction one. Now, sometimes you can't tell the difference. Sometimes their value can be excellent spiritually. How, like for example, if somebody has or finds or gets a gift or a blessing of a Z, which is a reproduction Z, which started sometime in the 90s in Taiwan, right?
That's correct.
Do they have any significance or value spiritually or protection-wise?
I believe so. Like if you have a real nice reproduction, which is made in 90s, and then the Taiwanese, like whoever made that Z, that type of Z, and I heard that they have to have a certain type of agates, not just any kind of agates.
Uh-huh.
So it's really hard to get the material in terms of making the really good reproduction. And then after you wearing it for like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years on your neck, you get some sort of like, little bit of because it's like you get blessing from the lamas, you go to all those sacred places, you also get blessing from those places, and then plus you have some sort of like energy, like in human body has like there are a lot of good vibes, so it does has a value of it.
Archetypal value is what it's called. It's basically like like you're saying, all the energy kind of is like dust. It gets put into to the atom. Let me ask you now about the eyes. The eyes seem to be a very important thing. What are the top 5 eyes? I don't mean the number 5 of the eyes. I mean starting with 9 eyes.
That's correct. And in terms of the eyes, value-wise, it's supposed to be when there's like odd number.
Odd, okay.
Odd, it's more value, okay, because like 9 eyes, 7 eyes, 5 eyes, and 3 eyes are more expensive than 2 eyes, 4 eyes, 6 eyes. Okay. And then even in the 6 eyes and 4 eyes comes with a different pattern. So it's like that's again comes with the like size and color, and then also the pattern of the 4 eyes or 6 eyes. So based on the value, monetary value will go according to that.
Now there's 9 eyes is the king of the Z's, right?
That's correct.
And what does the 9 eyes represent? Like they all have different meanings for people, supposedly.
Yes, the 9i is considered to be the most valuable and most rare the eyes Z, and in terms of the values, it's really hard to say, but that's the most expensive. Yeah.
Now things like 12, 24, 36, etc. Are those more recent?
Or no, I've seen like 12 eyes, the ancient Z, mm-hmm. The real Z in 12 eyes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but 12 eye is it's not expensive as 9 eyes.
So 9 is takes
9 is I think it's
And you know, it's interesting now that a lot of people who value Z beads, they always wear the reproduction ones because of safety, right?
Yeah, that could be the possible. Yeah, it depends. It's really
it's smart. It's smart to wear the reproduction so that you know, it's more safe.
Yeah, totally. Like it's if you wear as a as an ornament, then you could use that as like a what we call the representation, or yeah. But then the other thing is, I'm a little bit skepticism about like how they met, like when they do, because it's a etching on the agates, the reproductions are. Mm-hmm. So sometime if it's could be, I don't know what kind of chemical they use, so I don't think it's a good idea to wear all the time next to your skin.
For example, Cinabar, which is known to be added to such things, is actually not necessarily the healthiest thing for the body. I mean, you have to check on that with your doctors, whoever's listening, but Cinabar may have toxic elements. Not all, first of all, agates don't really have Cinabar naturally, right? You'll have to check this stuff.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Cinabar is something for you guys to check with your doctors about, or health practitioners. Now, let's talk about a little bit more about the Z skin. So there's things known as dragon skin. There's things known as pieces of Z carved out, just like I'm holding in my hand, for medicine purposes. Mm-hmm. Now, how are these things used for medicinal purposes? How can an agate become medicine? Not that, by the way, audience, this does not apply to this time and date, so please do not use agate as medicine.
Oh, that's a pretty technical question, because like I'm not a doctor, so, and then right. Plus like I'm not a medicine man, so right. And like as far as my knowledge, Tibetan medicine has some precious stone grinded into it, so that's a little bit too kind of like technical for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then the other thing is like older Z, the ancient Z, has a little bit scratch, and what we call is zifu, means like we offer to the Buddha and Bodhisattva, so it's like little cut off, so that will like kind of like saying, in a way, so you kind of like even the most precious thing what you have as belonging, still we offer to the Buddha and Bodhisattva.
That's gorgeous.
Yes.
Kind of like exactly what I'm holding in my hand, right?
That's correct.
Wow, so the reason I carve it is to say that whatever is mine belongs to the heavens.
Yes.
It's
so that kind of like actually a little bit what we call explain, and a little bit non-attachment. Otherwise, if you attach, even though it's very precious, if you attach too much, which is not good.
If you become real materialistic about
That's correct, yeah.
Then it kind of ruins its own value.
Yeah, own value.
So you basically, instead of protecting it from evil, you become evil.
That's right.
So now, anything else you'd like to share about the Z's?
I think that's about it. And there are a lot of things about the Z, and very highly respected scholar called the Namkhe Norbu, and he wrote a book on Z. It's called the Z Tingwa, which means the Z beads mala, or the and that would be really good to look at. And then also Z is very precious and very important for Tibetan culture. So there are many things to do research and to talk about, and I'm just like a Marchin, so I don't know much about it, and I would definitely, yeah.
But you know when you see the stuff, how you feel about it, right?
Oh yeah, totally, because
you know what to look for.
Totally, because I spend quite a bit of money, and I made money, so I have to know a little bit about the Z.
Yeah. Now, what would you like to tell the audience about your store?
Oh, we are located in 1600 Shadak in Berkeley, California, which is the most beautiful place, I think, in America or even in the world.
Wow.
So please come and visit us.
And what anything else about your store that you'd like to?
Yeah, we have a lot of, besides Z, we have many other things like carpets, furnitures, and jewelries, and a lot of different things are, which is not so kind of like a mass, not a mass production. So everything is handmade and put a lot of love and effort and energy and beauty. So
Yeah, and I think your store really stands out. It's kind of an elevated store. It's a very classy store.
thank you so much, Mikhail. This is the only I could contribute to this beautiful world. So please come and visit us. You don't have to buy it.
Well, thank you for being on the show, Lhawang Dhondup with the Fine Tibetan Arts. We've been talking about Z beads of Tibet.